Great, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm excited about doing this presentation on heart math. I've been interested in their work for, probably since around 2002 when I stumbled on. How many people know about heart math?
A little bit.
A little bit about, okay, all right. So what I've done here is created a PowerPoint slide that summarizes some of their major findings. If you want, afterwards, you can put your name and email address, and there's a 20-page PDF that summarizes their research that I could email to you. It's really interesting, very readable, even though it's scientific. So the Institute of Heart Math, they've been around since around 2000, I think. And they're based in California, and it's really fascinating research. And to me, they're doing Baba's work, even though it's not in the name of Baba. But their main objective, which I'll explain, is to help people learn how to cultivate experiencing their heart center and balancing the head and the heart. And isn't that what Baba said we're here to do? Yeah. Everyone's here to do. And that during an avatar period, that process speeds up. This is what they're doing. And they have come up with so many interesting findings, research. These people are PhDs, MDs, and it's not woo-woo research. They've gotten their research into some of the best medical journals in the country, New England Journal of Medicine, etc. And their research studies are highly scientific and statistically valid, etc., etc. So their findings, I think, are amazing. And it really fits in with some of the things Baba said about the heart and some of the things Buddha said, which I'm going to quote from, okay, and Mohammed, etc. So they are bringing science into what the avatars, perfect masters, and high saints have been saying for forever, okay? And that to me was what's exciting. And then they have a research wing, and then they have they train people how to access their heart. And they have been everywhere. They've trained Olympic athletes. I think Finland or something hired them to train their athletes. Because what they found is when people are able to access their heart more their performance is enhanced. And that's based on research. They've done military training, police training, hospital training, AIDS, the whole series of huge amount of research on the benefits health-wise, lowering the meds, heart, high blood pressure meds, AIDS, etc., etc. Many corporations out of the Silicon Valley, not a lot of them, some of them have hired them to work with their executives, senior staff, and help them learn how to be in the heart. And again, they've done research to show that doing this improves decision making. And access to intelligence saves money, it improves the bottom line. So it's this like broad spectrum of applications that they have been doing over the years. And they have a biofeedback device called M-Wave. Have anyone ever heard of M-Wave? Cool, good. So I have it. I have an M-Wave, and afterwards we're gonna go there, and it's a biofeedback device that helps to cultivate being able to go into your heart and what that means. Okay, and you can see it, you can graph it. So it's literally the science of the heart. All right, so, and I'll explain the theory behind it as we go. And to me, it's just mind-boggling. It's just so cool. Okay, so next slide. And I'm also going to show like a 5-minute video when I do this slide. Okay, so here's their mission: researching the effects of positive emotions on physiology, quality of life, and performance. Positive emotions is key because what they're saying is we can cultivate positive emotions rather than just waiting for them to happen. All right. And it helps individuals engage their hearts to transform stress and rejuvenate their health. Okay? It provides prevention and intervention strategies for improved emotional health, decision making, learning skills, and violence reduction. Okay? They've gone into schools, and it helps. They've done with elementary schools, cooperative interactions, but also older students with test anxiety. It's great for test anxiety. Yes.
They've gone into prisons.
Prison. I think they've done some prison work. Yeah. Next slide. There's one slide here, it doesn't fit, this one. So we'll just do the best we can. I can't remember. There's some interesting facts about the human heart. You know, it starts beating 18 to 22 days on its own. Did you know that? And it's not connected to the head, to the brain. The brain has not formed yet. And it just starts beating, right? Boom, on its own. And when brain transplants are done, I need a brain transplant. When heart transplants are done, they have to sever the nerve connections to the brain. Whoa. And they can't reconnect them to the recipient's brain. They can't do that. Once those nerves are severed, it's done. And yet the heart starts beating and starts functioning without any nerve connection to the brain in the recipient, which is amazing. Okay, the brain isn't fully formed until the end of pregnancy, but the heart starts beating. It has its own self-activating cells in there, and it's not coming from brain signals. It just starts pumping. Okay. It's not until 25 weeks in the pregnancy that you get a consistent EKG brain signal. Okay. Can we go a little further now? The heart is about the...
That's
as far as we go. All right, I forget what's going on. Good. And here's what HeartMath has found. It possesses... The heart is the center of intelligence here. Okay. And it has neurons, the same brain cells, the same cells that are in the brain, neurons are in the heart. It's a center of intelligence. And the heart is a receiver and a transmitter. Stu gave that great seminar last month about that heart as a transmitter. Okay, it transmits energetic signals, but it's also receiving them. Okay, it receives and sends out signals to every organ and system of the body. It's interacting with the brain on an ordinary day-to-day basis, but it's impacting the functioning of every system or the digestive system, the hormonal system, the respiratory system, the parasympathetic system, everything is being influenced by the heart and the heart-brain interaction. Okay? The heart sends out more information to the brain than vice versa. The heart's actually communicating more information to the brain than the brain sending to the heart. That's another part of the finding going on. This is amazing. This is mind-boggling. This one, the magnetic field. HeartMath found out the magnetic field of the heart is 5,000 times stronger than the field generated by the brain. Okay, and generates 40 to 60 times more electrical amplitude than the brain. It's a more powerful, energetic transmitter than the brain. Remember Clinton had that thing on his slogan there when he first got elected president, it's the economy, stupid. Remember that? Yeah, I don't know. So for a while I had it on my bathroom mirror, it's the heart, stupid. Outside of our awareness, the heart beats in an intelligent language that strongly affects how we perceive and respond to the world around us. Right? An intelligent language. Okay, keep that in mind. And so how our heart, the condition of our heart, influences how we interpret the world. Right? Go ahead. The heart is a highly complex, self-organized information processing center with its own functional brain that communicates with and influences the cranial brain via the nervous system, the hormonal systems, and other pathways. These influences profoundly affect brain function and most of the body's major organ and ultimately determine the quality of life. Another okay. There's 4 biological languages, we'll get to that the heart communicates. So what they're saying, what HeartMath really proved is that the heart is not just a pump. It doesn't just pump blood, which is what everyone thought first since whoever it was that discovered the circulation of blood. Who was that? Who was that guy? Anybody remember?
Harvey, maybe?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But in the 80s, it was discovered that the heart also generates hormones. It creates hormones. They didn't know that. It was a hormone-producing organ, too. Okay, next slide. All right, here it is. HeartMath research. This was totally original. The heart communicates with and influences every single system in the body, including the brain, using 4 what they call biological languages. Here are the 4. They are the neurological. There's nerve impulses that the heart transmits information to every system in the body. And then hormones, that wasn't discovered until the 80s. And it's that famous oxytocin and ATF, atrial natriuretic peptide, and neurotransmitters. The love hormone is called, or the bonding hormone is oxytocin. Okay, that is generated by the heart. Okay, and then the other way is this is interesting. Biophysical blood pressure waves. Before there's the actual pumping mechanism, the heart is sending out pulse waves. All right, and I think that's what Chinese. That's what they're feeling. Not just that, they're feeling pulse waves also. Those pulse waves carry information. Okay. And those pulse waves go out before the actual contraction. The blood is going. It precedes the blood. Okay, the actual movement of the blood. These pulse waves. And then the fourth way is what we all rely on with our cell phone. The heart transmits electromagnetic signals, same signals as cell phones, etc. So these four biological languages are happening all the time, and they're influencing the functioning of every system or body. Okay, that's new. That's relatively new information into the complexity and the sheer intelligence of the heart. Next one. Okay, so the main thing is the autonomic nervous system, which is the sympathetic and parasympathetic. This is this system is a main channel for the information that's coming through. Okay, the parasympathetic system is the rest and digest, or feed and breathe. It slows down the heart rhythm. And the sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight system. Okay, when you're under stress, it's the sympathetic system that gets activated. So negative emotions, anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, etc., increase disorder in the heart's rhythms, and as a result, the automatic nervous system and the rest of the body. Okay. So this is leading up to their main finding. Go ahead. Okay. Okay.
So I stay there a minute, Joe?
Pardon?
Will you just stay there a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then positive emotions: love, joy, appreciation, the feeling of oneness, compassion, love for God, the sense of unity, etc., increases harmony and coherence in our heart rhythms and the automatic nervous system. Okay. Now, what they mean by heart rhythms, I'll explain here, is not just your heartbeat. Our heart rate or our heartbeat varies from moment to moment. Okay, it's not a metronome. The heart is not a metronome. That's one of their monograms. Called "The Heart is not a metronome." It's not a regular beat. 84 beats a minute, and then 78 beats a minute, 87 beats a minute, and the heart's rate is responding to influences from the environment and then influences internally, and that's normal. It's normal for it to vary. The main thing is what they measure is heart rate variability. How does it vary? Okay, next slide. How does that heart rate variability vary?
They're taking that as to another level.
Yeah.
Not only how, but why?
Why it varies? Yeah, because it's. I'm not sure about why, because the why is because it's responding to internal and external influences.
Yeah.
But then the how is what's important. Okay. All right. So the ANS, autonomic nervous system, interacts with our digestive, cardiovascular, immune, and hormonal system. So it's a central clearinghouse. It's from the heart to the autonomic nervous system out to every system in the body. Okay? Negative emotions, negative thoughts create disorder and imbalance in the autonomic nervous system. Positive feelings create increased hormonal and immune system balance and more efficient brain function. Okay. I was a therapist. That was my career. And what was big in the field, and probably still is cognitive therapy. You change how you think, and that will change how you feel. I never totally agree with that. It didn't coincide with my experience, personally. I don't think that cognitive, it's not true for everybody, but cognitive therapists tried to make it true for everybody. And I always felt that, personally, for me, how I respond to the world is when my thoughts are almost totally influenced by how I feel. When I'm feeling happy, when I'm feeling content, my thoughts are totally different. When I'm depressed, anxious, worried, fearful, then all the thoughts are totally different. So what they're saying is the cognitive therapists say intervene at the level of your thoughts, stinky thinking and all that. But what HeartMath is saying, no, intervene at the level of your emotions. We can cultivate positive emotions, and that's going to color and change how you perceive and how you think about the world. Okay, good. Next one. Coherence. Now, what is coherence? This is a big term that they use. And it means it's specific, has a specific meaning. It's clarity of thought and emotional balance. It's the harmonious synchronizations between multiple systems. Okay? Now, you can see that on a biological level. You can see it on a human level. You can see it in a team. You can see it, a crew team rowing down the water, 8 people, all kicking in at the same time. I was a coxswain on a crew team, to get that precision when it's off, So that's what they mean by coherence. Ordered patterning within one system or between systems is a coherent state. And that's what the heart helps to do. The heart has the capacity to create a coherent state of being. Okay? And it has a greater capacity to do that than the brain. Okay, next slide. All right, so psychophysiological coherence is a high degree of balance and synchronization within and between cognitive, emotion, and physiological processes. So the mind, the body, and the spirit all working together. When this state is in effect, okay, it results in the high cognitive and physical performance, reduced stress, increased emotional stability, and numerous other health benefits. Okay, when you consciously cultivate this state of coherence, and that's their main thrust of HeartMath, doing that. At the Institute of HeartMath, we have discovered that intervening at the emotional level is often the most efficient way to initiate change in mental patterns. That's just what I said. Next one. Positive emotions not only feel better, but tend to increase synchronization of the body's systems, thereby enhancing energy and enable us to function with greater efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, and even athletically, enhanced performance. When these Olympic athletes were trained to be in their heart, military, making better decisions in battle. Okay, I don't know if it was the Marines or what branch of the military had hired them to give training for that and stuff. It's universal application. Okay, next. The heart is the most powerful generator of rhythmic information patterns in the human body. These heart-generated information patterns create a state of psychophysiological coherence. And this is the main thing. We're getting there. In this coherent state, the heart takes over as the master organ of the body, optimizing our physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual function. Okay. So this is their original research. When you go into a state of coherence, and the only way to go into that, according to HeartMath, is to feel love, appreciation, gratitude, oneness. That's the doorway. When you can train yourself to actually cultivate those feelings of love, appreciation, gratitude, oneness, compassion, something amazing happens inside. The heart takes over as the master organ in the body. It takes over from the brain. The brain becomes, there's a coordination that happens between the brain, but actually the heart's in charge. And that's so consistent with what Baba said. You have to take the dictates from the heart. The intellect is so important, but the intellect needs to be taking its guidance from the heart. And what HeartMath has been doing is showing, when you do that, look what happens. Okay. Yes. You got a question?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So another term that's really important, you see it in the literature of systems theory, is entrainment or frequency or phrase locks. And what that means is that entrainment means it's a synchronization of an organism's internal rhythms to an external rhythm in the environment. Okay, like certain animals, their biological function is entrained to the phases of the moon. All right. The moon is phase locked with the Earth. You never see the dark side of the moon because it's in a phase lock, permanent position. Okay. So I've heard, I don't know if this is true, that in female dorms and college, the woman's periods start to synchronize, right? So they're phase locking. Is that true? Yeah, okay, so they start phase locking their biological rhythms to each other, okay? So if you were to take a, what are those clocks called? Pendulums. Pendulum clocks. And put them all in a room. There's a mechanical phase locking or synchronization that happens. The biggest, and they're all out of sync with each other. They're all going out. Okay, what will happen? You come back a day later, that all the smaller clocks will have synchronized to the big guy, the biggest one. It's just sound waves and mechanical. Okay, they've all become phase locked. They all start going. They're all starting in a pattern, the same pattern. Well, this has implications for social interactions with when you're in your heart. It has tremendous implications. Okay. So the other thing they've found, and we'll see it when we hook you up to the biofeedback, that when you are actually in that state, in your heart, feeling love, appreciation, actually feeling it, the heart rate variability, when you graph it, starts to look like a sine curve, a beautiful sine curve. In our ordinary state, and in the state I'm in right now, probably if we were to measure it, it would be more jagged. And that's graphing the heart rate variability. How is our heart rate varying from moment to moment? You graph that, ordinary state of mind is kind of jagged. But when you graph what that heart rate variability pattern looks like when you're actually in that state, what the goal is to get a nice, beautiful sine curve. And that's what happens. That's the indicator that you're in your heart. Okay? That's the scientific, that's the visible way of seeing love, okay, in a scientific way. And then that cycles usually about every 10 seconds, or 0.1 hertz, it's called. So that's just for the fun of it, it's called the measurable rhythm of love. Okay. And then when you're in that state, then the brain's alpha waves start to synchronize with the heart's harmonious rhythms, and that's where you start to get the balance of the head and the heart, establishing a balance of right and left hemispheres. Okay. The brain then generates a new and separate electrical frequency that further integrates the heart and brain. A third brain develops. Okay, your intuition kicks in. So, how do you access your intuition? Well, instead of trying to go right for it, you first just don't even think about what you want intuitive guidance about. First, go into your heart and activate that sine wave coherent state, and then your intuition will kick in. Okay. Next one. So, definition, it's the ability to instantaneously perceive with a wider, deeper internal lens. It's another one definition of intuition. I like that. Okay? All right. So, Baba, in the discourses, when there's a full synthesis of the head and the heart, both love as well as reason are so completely transformed that they precipitate the emergence of a new level of consciousness that, compared to normal human consciousness, is best described as super consciousness. One of their authors, and I had this book, and it's not in print anymore. I'm really mad at myself for not holding on to it. One of them wrote a book on the third brain, on this, what happens. It's a new electrical field gets created. It's when the head, left and right hemispheres, when the heart and the brain are synchronized in that state of coherence, there's a new third, they call it a third brain. And this is as close as, and here's Baba talking about it. Right. All right, so again, the heart rate variability is the key indicator of the degree of positive psychophysiological coherence. And there's different degrees of coherence. On this biofeedback, you can have easy, middle, hard. It gets hard. It's not that easy to do, actually, but there's different degrees. So it's something you can cultivate. You know, think about it. I think most of us, I know, have just kind of rely on external things happening that really propel us into our heart. I think we're all born. We all come into this life with a certain capacity, various degree capacity to be in our heart. Traditionally, women are better at that. That's not always true. But traditionally, women have a better open access to their heart. Do you agree with that?
Usually.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not 100% true. But don't stop there. It's like we can learn to cultivate deeper and deeper access to our heart through practice. If you think of it like it's an instrument. The heart is an instrument. If you practice it regularly, practices, that disability to experience a state of coherence and all the positive effects that come with that can happen. Okay, so rather than just kind of wait for something external, whether it's coming from, maybe it feels external coming from Baba, some transmission of his love or whatever, you know, or some event on the outside, you know, that we can, through daily practice of learning how to be in your heart, you can really transform our whole being. Yes. I had a little, when I first started doing this, I was living in DC. In terms of positive physical effects, in the winter months, I was really feeling it in my extremities, the blood circulation to my toes. I would really feel the cold. And I started doing this. I didn't do anything else different. The next winter, circulation was I never had that problem again. Never felt that. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Here's a graph. Heart rate variability. So the top one is what your heart rate variability typically would look like when you're feeling frustrated or anxious. Okay. And there's what it looks like. That sine wave curve. Okay. Think of it like the top, like you're driving down the street and hitting your brakes, you know, driving like that, okay? Or you're at the light turns green and you just accelerate out rapidly, and then there's a red light and you slam on your brakes. You know, what's that doing to your car? But it's like that's what we're doing to our body with these sudden radical changes of heart rate, okay, when it's like that. But think about just smoothly accelerating away from a green light. You see the red light ahead, you slowly decelerate. That's going to be something, your brakes are going to last longer, and so your car. Okay. All right, there is the device. I don't work for HeartMath, so I'm not trying to sell it. But I bought one about 1.5 years ago. They sell this, and you can. It's called M-Wave, and it's portable. It's the lights will tell you they're either red, blue, or green. Red, you're not in coherence. You're in your ordinary state. Blue, you're getting there, okay? And you're trying to shoot for the green, okay? And what it is, it hooks up to your ear, okay? And it's measuring your heart rate variability. It's in the moment, okay? And then you can work with it. You can learn to be in your heart. Whatever it is, you know, imagining, just go in your heart, saying Baba's name, or visualizing Baba's face, or whatever works for you. Or I used to sometimes just say the word love. Just saying the word love. That's similar to that work of Emoto, the messages in water. You know, you just put the word in there, and we're mostly water anyway. So just put that word in there will change the chemical structure of the water in our body. So just even saying the word love or peace or contentment, and just doing that, and then you can see it happening. Also, they have interactive computer software. So beside lights, they have games and visualizations. So kids really like that because the more you're in your heart, if there's one that's a balloon, you'll see the balloon goes up and it's got to get to a goal and goes down. There's another one that's a garden. It starts off, it's all gray, and the more you're in the heart, you start getting flowers and unicorns are appearing. So that's a fun game. Various games like that.
Have you noticed a change in your life?
Dramatically, when I first started doing this, I went through some Sufi school, not the Baba Sufi school for a while, where it's similar. They were really training us how to be in our heart at deeper levels. It's a two-pronged thing that deepening the practices that help you get into your heart and also healing wounds. Our wounds that we carry from past lives are like black holes in the heart area, and they suck up the light. Okay, and you can't hold, or there's holes in a sieve. You can't hold the light that long. The more you heal old wounds, the heart becomes a sealed, beautiful container. And then, okay, so doing that, I felt this was 2002, 3, 4, really helped. I had a wall spiritually. I remember this in the 90s, and I just felt I just would visualize this wall. Something had to change, and yeah, I would read the discourses every page. Bob was talking about the heart, and I would agree with it. Yeah, but I wasn't so good at accessing it, and this involvement I had with this Sufi school really helped me. Really helped me. I feel. And one particular experience felt like was a permanent change. And I felt it really activated creativity too. That's when I started writing plays and everything, and painting, and everything started flowing from that for me. So yeah. Okay. So our intuition, inspiration, and creativity is accessed more easily when we're feeling love, appreciation, gratitude. caring. Okay? So the coherent heart is the doorway to our higher self. It's through the heart. That's what the Sufis teach. It's through the heart. Right? You got to awaken the heart. All Sufis paths is awakening the heart and spinning the heart. Most Sufi teachers, the real teachers, from what I've heard, that they can go into your heart, access, and each murid, each student has a certain requirement for how they spin the heart chakra. Okay, and it's that spinning of the heart chakra that is the awakening process. Okay, the mind spins at a tremendous rate. Okay, and when the mind is spinning at a much faster rate than the heart, it's slower than we tend to be more in our head. Okay. But when the heart is awakened and starts spinning faster, you're spinning off karma, but you're also opening up more to love. And so that's one thing they do. Okay, so it's the awakening of the heart. Okay? Can you hand me that book? And I want to read something here, which is, right. You're all familiar with this book, the last book that Hermes put out, Lord Buddha's Explanation of the Universe? I highly recommend it. It's Buddha's God Speaks. Okay?
What is it called again?
The Lord Buddha's Explanation of the Universe. The story goes that his disciples at one point asked him to explain everything, and that he gave discourses every day for 3 months or 6 months. And back then they could memorize them, and they did, and it was passed orally until the great Buddhist leader of India in 200 AD ordered that they be written down, and they were put in monasteries. And it's called the Abhidhamma or something. It's huge. But in 1940, in the late 40s, an Indian scholar translated them in English for the first time ever, and the sections of it. And supposedly Hermes had come across this, and he, according to Hermes, that he said he wanted to do a more modern, more better English translation, and this is the last book that he did. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just read some things from here. Get my reading glasses. So. The heart is the key to unlocking the mind to its real potential. The mind exists in its concentrated strength in the heart, and the heart can be aroused to sufficient strength to focus upon deeper reflections. This is why man's major emotions and passions, such as love, benevolence, hatred, anger, jealousy, arise and spring deep from within the heart. All man's actions are ultimately linked to the manner in which his heart acts. Okay? And the heart cannot act without the cooperation of the mind. And what he's saying is, we tend to think, where's the mind located? It feels like it's in the head. But what Buddha's saying in here, the mind is concentrated here and it spreads throughout the whole body, the whole system. It's everywhere in the body. You know, where are sanskaras deposited? Well, it appears they're deposited on all our bodies, the mental body, the physical body, the emotional body, right? Buddha talks about the evolutionary current, and that's where the sanskaras in the mental body are deposited. But look at the heart transplants, that the recipient who doesn't know anything about his donor suddenly starts developing habits and traits. Do you know about that? Have you ever heard about that of the donor who he doesn't even know? This guy was into country music, the recipient, and the donor loves Beethoven. Suddenly he's starting to listen to Beethoven, or even food tastes, or memories. There was a key murder. Some little girl was murdered, 6-year-old or something, and her heart was donated to another child around the same age who needed a heart. And that little girl, the recipient, started having dreams and visions of the murder scene. Wow. And the police took down notes and they made an arrest and got a conviction from that.
Wow.
So all particularly our strongest emotional experiences are deposited literally in the physical heart. So sanskaras, I think, yeah, in our mental body, so when we drop our body, they're there. And that's what creates a physical body. But in our heart, in our emotional body, but also in our physical body. Okay? And Buddhist, it's in here too, he says that.
And Bob, in Incredible Weeks in September, I keep it for.
Yeah.
Bob talked about the first and second functioning of the heart.
Uh-huh.
And the second functioning was like the brain.
Yes.
Remember that?
It's secondary. Yeah. According to the Buddha, there is the heart element or current, which is the center of a being's consciousness and the very center of its mind. In many respects, this most important life element is also a reflecting current inside the mind. The Buddha referred to it as the reflective current of the heart. You know, the Sufis talk about polishing the mirror of the heart so it can reflect. It has a reflecting quality. Okay? It is with the aid of this heart current that the major reflections of the human mind are produced. The heart reflective current is also a byproduct of the four abstract elements, earth, the original earth, fire, etc., and can be understood as a subtle force, a polish, or a light that exists within the blood in the cavities of the physical heart. Okay? Although the blood flows in and out of the heart, this reflecting light, which is the main mirror of the mind, remains constantly within. There it is. The heart is a mirror. It's a reflector. It has a capacity to reflect. And repeating the name of God, repeating Baba's mind, the heart, saying that there's a polish for everything, and the polish for the heart is the name of God. It polishes, it cleans, it makes it more polishing the rust, the sanskaric deposits that can reflect that beauty, that divine light through the heart center. Okay? The heart is the most. This is exactly what the heart math said with the magnetic field of the heart. Here you go. The heart is the most powerful and forceful, reflecting, polished current in the body and the mind. Okay? The function performed by this current is to reflect to the mind the feelings, the passions, and the emotions, good and bad, high and low, great and small, etc. The concentration of the heart current in the cavities of the human heart constitutes the center of the human mind, and to the heart are linked the five senses, the five environmental senses. Okay? Let's see. The heart reflecting current also exists throughout the entire physical body system of any being, but only inside the cavities of the heart does it arise in full active, concentrative, intense formation. Thus, the heart is the key to unlocking the mind to its real potential. Buddha said this. Right? So, and this is what heart math is starting to do. That's what's so exciting. It's like, wow, incredible. You know, it's like, all this has been taught by the avatars for you know, and now there's some science for it. Okay, next one. Mohammed got a little more graphic. In the body, there's a piece of meat. You know, they were herders and stuff, so you have to talk in their language. If this is right, then the whole body, if this is right, that piece of meat is right, the whole body will be right. And if it is bad, then the whole body will be bad. This piece of meat is the heart. Okay, that's one of the hadiths from Muhammad. Okay, next one. Okay, so here's some of the benefits that heart math has done research on and has statistical evidence that it's true. And when you do this practice, cultivating the heart, and they teach certain basic techniques for going in the heart. Okay, when it's done over a period of time, improves sleep. Let's see, helping you stay calm, composed in stressful situations, challenging situations, anger, whatever. Neutralizes the stressful reaction that erode health and mental and emotional composure. Okay, because you're not in the parasympathetic system. The sympathetic system isn't kicking in, generating all those negative hormones that are bad for your health. Increases vitality, builds resilience for faster recovery from physical, mental, and emotional stressors. One of the Sufi teachers I remember said something really interesting. When we're totally in our ego consciousness, which would be not in your heart, when a stressful thing happens and the wound happens, it's like passing a finger through wet cement. And when that cement dries, it leaves a permanent scar. Okay. But when you start to go deeper into your heart, shit happens, bad stuff happens. It's like passing your finger through water. Or a storm on the sea or something. Yeah, you have an emotional response, but it resolves so much quicker. It doesn't leave permanent scars. And even at deeper level, you know, really, really deep in your heart, and you're maybe a saint, I don't know. But if something happens, and you're at that really deep heart level, it's like passing your finger through air. Yeah, if you could see airplanes going, it's moving the air side, but it's like whoosh, quickly resolves. Okay. All right. Enhances the ability to think clearly. I think that is so true. When there's that open channel, it's like a membrane between the head and the heart. And when I do this Sufi heart meditation, I always use that metaphor. It's like passing through a membrane into a different place of your being. Okay, and if you can visualize that channel being open, then the mind is not. Each state of our being, the mind has a voice. the Sufis teach that goes with it. And the Sufis will ask, well, what voice are you listening to? And they talk about the voice of the nafs, N-A-F-S, the nafs being the lower ego, you know, and it's a veil, it's a thick veil that says, this is the way the world is, and this is the way you are, and this is the way he or she is, and it's usually a negative, separative interpretation. And you listen to that voice, and just open the newspaper, and it's like, everyone's listening to that voice of the nafs these days, more and more. And it's judgmental, it's negative, it's hostile, it's separative. When you start to go into your heart, there's a different voice that gets acted. It's the voice of the heart. You begin to hear it. And it's less separative. It's more based on compassion and love. Okay? And then even at the soul level, the deeper levels of the heart, which would be that air, then you begin to hear the spiritual guidance. You know, you begin to hear Baba's voice that's giving you insights into what's best for you spiritually, etc. Okay? So thinking, and then the thought, the illuminated mind, you begin to think clearly. And that's where the executives, time is always the thing with executives. You know, that you can get more accomplished in the same amount of time. You know. When you're really in your ego state, that's when you feel oppressed by time. So that you can have a state, you can be working, but part of you is in this timeless state, and that creates more efficiency actually. So, okay. Next one. All right. Memory. Hey, that's all true for short-term memory, long-term memory. So for agers, those of us who are getting older, it helps with that. Okay. So what is the heart is it? We've got our own built-in healer right here. We all carry it. We have this. It's free. Okay. You don't have to go. You don't have to go get your provider to say okay. It's here, okay, and all that. Keep going. Korean training used by numerous Olympic athletes for training. Okay.
You want me to go?
Yeah, keep going. And they talk about their tools, the meditative techniques. Our methods train police, military, corporate managers, medical staff, patients, students, how to access their heart. Okay, keep going. Sustained positive emotion has been correlated with numerous organizationally relevant benefits, including increased cognitive flexibility, innovative problem solving, improved decision making, negotiations, cooperation, job performance, and achievement. And these are not just nice words. That's based on statistical research that they've done with their training, pre-training, post-training follow-ups, etc. Some of the physical that the research has shown to have going into your heart, cultivating your heart, has shown health benefits with these illnesses. Keep going. Here's a quote from AIDS. They had an AIDS. They were doing heart mouth training and an AIDS clinic. Immune system benefits. Next one. Okay. The heart's now this gets into the interactive. Okay. The heart's electromagnetic field, the most powerful rhythmic field produced by the human body, not only envelops every cell of the body, but extends out in all directions into the space around us. Okay. This cardiac field can be measured several feet away from the body by sensitive devices. Okay. They've done that. When two people are at conversational distance, the brain wave of one person not in a coherent state will tend to synchronize with the heartbeat of the person in a state of heart. Think about the implications of that. How you can, when you're in your heart without even trying to, people will start to sink in that entrainment into your heart rhythm. Maybe we've all had experience of that anyway. And great saints, that's what's happening. They're sending out their magnetic field probably goes, that's so powerful. And you step into that aura, their field, and you can feel that your heart rhythms, your brain waves patterns are starting to synchronize with theirs. They have that powerful effect.
Are auras the same thing?
Well, the aura is going to be affected by, the aura is a reflection of your energetic field. Yeah, it's a color stuff, yeah. Well, go back to that one. What's the second one? Individuals in a coherent state become more sensitive. This is another, becoming more sensitive to the subtle electromagnetic information encoded in the heart signals of others around them. I find that so true. You're in your heart, you can begin to receive information about where that other person is, where their heart is. Okay. When I one of the things that influenced me to go to the Sufi school, I was living near the Sufis and I was going to their zikrs on Thursday night. And I was hesitant to go to school, but I was going through a crisis, I was going through a divorce, and these people most of them were acupuncturists who had done this Sufi training. And I was talking to one of the women, and she looked at me and goes, "Joe, when I look into your heart, here's what I see." And I said, and then she told me what she saw, and it wasn't anything I said. She just was able to look into my heart and to say what she saw. And this is the training they got at the Sufi school to be able to, this healing, to be able to do that. It's a second or third year. They train you to go, literally to imagine going into the person's heart and reading it and seeing it. Okay? So this sensitivity to what's happening, what other people are where they're at, what's going on in their heart, because when you're in your heart, it automatically increases your sensitivity to where other people are. That can be a little difficult sometimes. You can become too sensitive to, okay, and that happens. But it's as far as intuitive listening and advanced empathy, to me that's one of the greatest gifts you can give to someone, the intuitive, deep, just being really right there, really present with them in your heart. And rather than just automatically thinking the next thought, it's a wonderful gift just to give someone. And just by doing that, it changes their heart rhythms. They'll start to sync with yours, okay? And it becomes a healing process, just that. Okay. All right, so then they took it to the next level. They have what's called the Global Coherence Initiative. This is amazing. You know, there are 2 satellites that are in orbit constantly that are measuring the Earth's electromagnetic field, and they graph it. Okay? And the Earth's electromagnetic field, right down, is being influenced by what's happening with the sun, solar flares, planetary interactions, and probably beyond our solar system, energies coming from other galaxies, etc. It's all influenced, and the Earth's electromagnetic field is having an effect on people's emotional states. Okay, but they found, it operates the other way around, that people's emotional states can influence the Earth's electromagnetic field. And there's an incredible proof of this. 2 days before 9/11, I saw it in one of their, somewhere in one of their pages. Here's the graph of the Earth's electromagnetic coming from the satellites. On September 9th, it went like 2 days before the event happened, and then for a whole week or two, it was like up crazy. It's like really intense, and then it settled down. So what's that say? That the heart is so receptive. People's hearts, like animals, knows an earthquake's coming or tsunami's coming. They head for the hills. Our hearts know that. So the hearts of people that outside of their awareness knew some really terrible event was going to happen, and it was creating stress. And that stress was influencing the magnetic field of the Earth, and there it is on the graph.
Wow.
Okay, so they thought about that. Wait a minute, if maybe we can have a project where communities of people can go into the heart together, and just like hundreds, thousands of people, and we can alter for the positive way the Earth's electromagnetic field, which is going to have a positive effect on humanity, and that's what their project is. Okay, and they've set up sensors around the Earth, and they also have. You can go on, if you go on their website, you can register for the Global Coherence Project, and they have certain events where people from around the globe are doing this. They're going into a state of coherence together, and they might have a place or some event in some place like Syria where there's a lot of stress or pain. So like you got people around the globe are directing their love energy to that spot. Okay, and actually you can see who's on. What you see is a live image as the globe, and you can see who's online. You can see your own little dot there. Yeah. So you can do that with them. Okay. So okay. The Earth's magnetic field carries important biological information linking living systems. Okay. That's interesting. The Earth's resonant frequencies approximate those of the brain, heart, and automatic nervous system. And studies show how surprising relationships between health and behavior of solar and geomagnetic activity.
It's all like scientifically proving the existence of God.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Is this the Schumann resonance?
Pardon?
The Schumann resonance? Is that a magnetic?
Schumann resonance.
That's the name, that's the name for the Earth's resonance, the Schumann
Yeah,
resonance.
the Schumann resonance.
You can research that.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard that phrase, but I don't know a lot about it. Yeah, I've heard that term.
It's changed radically recently.
It has?
It used to be very stable.
Okay.
But I think, the reason I asked is because I think it supposedly functions either like our brain or our heart.
Really?
It-
Oh,
yeah,
wow. So
same
must be
frequency.
some Schumann resonance. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Schumann.
So hopefully they're hoping this coherence project will lead to intuitive solutions for global challenges and transformation of our world and consciousness. Boy, do we ever need it now? Okay. Excellent. All right, here's some. They have two websites. artmath.org has their research studies and articles. And like I said, if you write your name on a piece of paper, I'll send you the main 20-page document that summarizes their scientific findings. And then heartmath.com has their product and services, okay, like the Zenwave and et cetera. You can sign up for training. Okay. And then the first book that they put out was Doc Childress. He's the founder of HeartMath. Cool guy. And his book is called HeartMath Solution, and it has some of the meditative techniques. And other books, The Heart's Code. Anyone ever hear of that book? Tapping the Wisdom and Power of Our Heart Energy by Dr. Paul Pearsall. You ever hear that book?
Yeah.
It is so cool. That's the where he talks about heart transplants and the recipient getting, but other research. It's very much in line with this. Okay, The Heart's Code. And then on YouTube, there's videos about HeartMath. But I want to show a short video now.
Most people know what it feels like to be in a state of harmony and flow, where our hearts and minds are working together, and there's a genuine connection with others involved. It's easy to love this experience of synergy, but oftentimes this happens by chance, rather than by design or intention. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to produce this flow on demand in our day-to-day communications, projects, and challenges? Research shows that when we shift into a coherent state, the heart and brain operate synergistically, like two systems that mesh into one. We can learn how to activate and sustain the synergy between the heart and brain and prevent stress-producing patterns, along with increasing our mental clarity and discernment capacity. When we do this, our creative solutions for personal, social, and global challenges become more accessible, providing us with more intuitive access and flow. Over the past 20 years, the Institute of HeartMath has produced coherence-building techniques that are intentionally simple and based on scientific research. Our mission theme is to simplify a process for intuitive connection to the soul's wisdom and guidance for unfolding who we truly are. New research suggests that our energetic or spiritual heart is an access point for our natural inner technology, the heart's intuitive intelligence, which can elevate our communications, decisions, and choices to a much higher level of effectiveness. One interesting finding from our research is that when people hold genuine core heart feelings such as appreciation or compassion, it naturally increases their heart coherence. We use the term energetics to refer to the systems that we can't see or touch. For example, our thoughts, emotions, and intuitions. The mind and heart feelings are energetic sources that underlie our thoughts and emotions. They're primary drivers of our biological systems and have a powerful influence on our behaviors, choices, and results. The intuitive energetic heart is what people have associated with their inner voice throughout history. From our perspective, the energetic heart communicates a steady stream of intuitive information to the mind and brain, which in most cases we only use a small percentage of, because our ego choices overrides the intuitive suggestion. Access to our heart's intuition varies among people, Yet we all have it. As we learn to slow down our mind and attune to our deeper heart feelings, our natural intuitive connection can occur. Intuition is like energetic gold. Intuitive insights often unfold more understanding of ourselves, others, issues, and life than years of accumulated knowledge. That's why the state of coherence is rapidly gaining interest. In this state, more and more people are reporting increased access to their heart's intuitive guidance, realizing it's within them, and with a little practice, it's easier to access than they thought. Research conducted in our laboratories has confirmed that when an individual is in heart coherence, the heart radiates a more coherent electromagnetic energy field that can benefit people, animals, and the environment. A growing body of scientific evidence suggests that when there is coherent group cooperation, it results in increased flow, effectiveness, and the potential for higher outcomes. It seems as though the group participants are not only in sync, but are communicating on an unseen, energetic level. Our personal coherence can benefit our families, co-workers, friends, pets, and more, simply by our presence. From our research, we know that heart coherence is not an idle state. It reaches out, it influences and supports others in many beneficial ways. Scientific evidence provides support for a global field environment that connects all living systems and consciousness. Many scientists believe that a feedback loop exists between all humans and the Earth's energetic systems. We are working together with other initiatives to realize the increased effectiveness of collective intention and cooperation. There are growing numbers of organizations with tools and techniques that facilitate increased heart connection and collaboration with others. This evolves into a collective opening of the heart, which is a major step towards increasing social and global coherence. We call this heart-based living. IHM, through its Global Coherence Initiative project, is strategically placing 14 sensors around the world to measure the Earth's magnetic resonance. This global network will enable our scientific inquiry into the interconnections between the Earth's magnetic field and collective human emotions and behaviors. Science has shown that the Earth's magnetic field affects humans in profound ways, but our intention is to study how humans, as a collective, affect the Earth's magnetic field environment. Every individual's energy contributes to the global field environment, and each person's thoughts, emotions, and intentions affects the field. A first step in increasing the coherence of the field environment is for each individual to take responsibility for their own energy. We can do this by becoming more conscious of the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that we are feeding the field each day. Our hypothesis is that as enough individuals increase their heart coherence, it leads to increased social coherence. As a critical mass of cultures and nations become more harmoniously aligned, this can eventually lead to increased global coherence and sustainable peace. Dr. Childre, the founder of HeartMath, puts it this way: as more of humanity practices heart-based living, it will qualify the rite of passage into the next level of consciousness. Using our heart's intuitive guidance will become common sense based on practical intelligence.
So, how do you do it? The best way is to just start off, close your eyes, okay? Get centered, get comfortable in your chair. And just become aware of your breathing. Just the general rise and fall of your breath. Just do a quick body scan. Just notice what's going on physically, where seems to be a natural flow of energy, openness in the body. And there might be some areas that are tense or tight. Just noticing them without trying to change it, just being with it. And this is always a good starting point, just our physical being, just bringing awareness right into the body. And in Buddhist mindfulness practices, that's always the first step. And the breath. And then putting to make an easy transition into heart awareness is putting, say, your right hand on the upper chest. And just with a sense of appreciation that this part of our being is very special. It's the place where we can begin to awaken to the divine presence, to Baba's presence. It's only through the heart that this happens. And it's a sacred place in our being. So just valuing that, knowing that. And just, before doing anything else, just do a heart check-in. Just ask your heart how she's doing right now. Just notice what's there, what's moving in the heart, in your heart. Is it, without, you don't even need words, what's the felt sense in the heart right now? Is it open, pinched? Part of the heart, the front could be open, the back might feel closed or tight, flowing. Just doing that heart checking, not trying to change anything, just being with it. Is there anything in your heart that might want your attention, that's been asking for attention? Maybe you have been too busy to do that. If you can just do that now. Maybe some feeling or emotion. This very practice of paying attention, bringing our awareness into our heart and valuing it and listening to what's there is a really, really valuable practice. Since this is where the center of our mind is. This is the central energy center for our whole being. And then the next step is heart-based breathing. To start to shift the breath into breathing in and out of your heart. It's a slightly different breath than our regular breath. There's a rhythm of heart breathing, more subtle. That's it. That's good. And again, imagining it's like just step deep into your heart. It's like passing through a membrane from our ordinary ego-based state of awareness deep into the heart. It's like you're passing into a whole different area of our being that we all have. And we all have access to. And just settling in deep into the heart. Noticing what's there. It's your heart. When I do the Sufi layers of the heart, I ask people to select the name of the Most High that feels comfortable for them to place in their heart. So for us, for you, it may be Mayor Baba's name, but if not, that's okay. Whatever the name of the Most High, and placing it in your heart beneath your hand, slowly with that heart breath. You know, the Sufis would do Allah, so it would be very slow and resonant. It would be Allah. With the breath, Allah. Allah. And of course, the Sufis call this the zikr, and it's this name of the Most High, name of the Beloved awakens the heart, polishes the heart, cleanses the heart. Allah. Repeating Baba's name slowly with the breath. And you can also experiment with just the word love, compassion, peace. I like doing the word peace and just placing that word, a quality, a divine quality, Placing that in your heart, letting slowly with the breath, love, love. And it actually creates that state. Now try to picture someone or something you love. Your Baba's face, image, a beloved pet, a friend, a relative, past or present, someone alive or deceased, someone you really love. Feel love for, genuine love, deep love, and just place that person's image right in your heart, beneath your hand. And just let that love flow from you to them to you. Just feel that. Feel that love. It could be a place, your favorite place in the world you've ever been. This is how the heart math people do it with their trainees. They keep away from spiritual focus to make it more acceptable to the general public, so they'll do a person, a place, or a pet. Well, whatever evokes the feeling of love in your heart. And now with the breath, just allowing the heart to transition into that sine wave pattern. Just like general waves on an ocean. Just imagine the heart rate just transitioning naturally, easily, gently into that beautiful sine wave pattern. Emanating from the core of your heart. And those sine wave energy fields are resonating out through your whole physical body, into every system, every cell, every molecule, and the spaces between the cells and molecules, filling the whole system with light, love, harmonious energy, all radiating out from the very core of the heart. Good, that's beautiful. You can kind of feel an opening. And just for the sake of time today, we'll stay with this level. When I do the heart meditation, then take it to the next deeper level, diving deeper, deeper into the heart to level the soul. And then pass that to the level of the oneness, the merging with the ocean, so that each participant gets a taste of the 4 layers of the heart. Baba once said that gross conscious human beings can experience 1% of divinity. And what's 1% of infinity? I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
So the general practice, the steps that I do is just first centering in the body, just being aware of the breath, the general being with the breath for a few moments, placing the hand on the heart, bringing the awareness beneath the hand into the heart center, just doing a heart check-in, how you doing today, how's she doing, what's happening, just being aware of what's moving in the heart in the present moment, not trying to change anything. And then placing the name of the Most High, the Divine, bringing in space, awareness, bringing in a name, softly, gently, with the transition into that heart breath, that heart breathing. It's a different rhythm than regular breath. The more you do it, the more you begin to experience the energy of it. And then actually visualizing that sine wave energy pattern coming from the very core of my heart, radiating out inward through into every physical system in my body, into my mind, into the brain, and then out beyond my physical body, out into the immediate space around me, and then out to the whole world. Just sending love vibrations out to the whole world. It's the Buddha practice of metta, loving kindness. May all beings awaken and be free. May all sentient beings everywhere be free of suffering. May I be free of suffering. May I awaken and be free. And may I experience Mayor Baba's love and compassion at deeper and deeper levels, layers of my being. And just placing those blessings in your heart, and they come to life. What happens with practice is that you begin to live in a different place. You begin to perceive yourself differently, the world differently, other people differently, and you begin to literally live in your heart more. And the heart Color is how you perceive, how you express yourself in the world, how your mind works. Okay, so when you're ready, just open your eyes gradually, gently. Good. So it's a simple practice. Great. So let's have one volunteer, then we'll turn it. The goal is to, it's not doing it now, but when you're hooked in, this will hook into your ear, you'll see red light, blue light, green light, okay? And you want to shoot for the green light, okay? So, all right. Just
Put
touch
it
that
on
too. It's good if you take your earring off so it doesn't create an interference pattern.
Okay.
All right, okay. And then just hook it to your earlobe. And what this is going to give is a real-time, we'll graph it first, and it'll calibrate. Let's give a real-time graph of your heart rate variability. Can you all see? And what we have here is, we'll start putting numbers up and graphing. So red is you're in an ordinary state, blue is you're getting there, and green is your high. So come here for a second. So just close your eyes. And this is a, and let's say, imagine I'm going to ask you to sing right now. Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask you to sing to the whole group a song. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, and there's going to be 500 people listening to you sing, and you got to make up a song right on the spot without any. Just picture yourself doing it. I come up to you, and there's a big audience, and the regular singer would cancel, and you're going to have to sing for them. Okay. Yeah. Right. See ya. Okay. So I just made up this stressful situation. Unless you like to sing, was that the wrong thing? Okay, good. So you see, look at her heart. She's picturing it as this tremendously jagged thing. It's her heart rate variability, and there's numbers. Her heart rate is 92 beats a minute. That's just the current one. Okay, but it's mostly. And it takes a few minutes to. Hey, Dan. It takes a few minutes to really settle into it. It doesn't happen automatically. Okay. So now let's try to see if we can get a transition going. Okay. So. Just settle in, get comfortable, okay? Settle into your body. You're in a very peaceful, supportive environment. Everyone loves you, okay? You put your hand on your heart, good. And just try to direct your attention into the heart, okay? Maybe would you want to imagine, say, Mayor Baba's presence and being inside you? Can you do that?
I'm working at it.
Okay, good. This is giving real feedback, real time, moment-to-moment feedback of our heart rate variability. And you begin to see the actual graph of it. Okay. All right, good. So you got up to 33% of blue.
Not very high.
No, that's good. That's good for a start. It doesn't happen automatically. You got to stay with it for several minutes. How about one more person? We'll do one of the games. Just put this on your earlobe.
This is a little stressful here. Okay.
So we want to do the balloon or the garden?
Oh, the garden.
All right, stand back a little second.
Okay.
Okay, so the garden starts off like this. So just close your eyes and just try your best going to your heart. You can put your hand over your heart. Just a picture and just saying the word love or whatever. Oh, good. The more you're in a coherent state, the more the garden comes to life. There's unicorns, flowers, roses. How does your garden go? It's beautiful.
Wow. Oh my God.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Can you get unicorns?
No pressure.
All right.
He's got green coming.
Good.
60-40, that's brilliant.
Wow, it's mostly green.
50-50, green.
Ah, there you go. We got one.
The flowers are blooming?
Flowers green.
Okay.
Okay, you got it. Very good. Excellent.
Wow.
63 green.
Oh, great. Good. Cool.
Good, we
Okay.
got to see the
Good.
Your eyes
unicorn.
open or closed?
Right.
Is your eyes open or closed?
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Fascinating information.
Yeah.